Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Karina, good morning. Okay, so not a huge amount of volume. I actually did take a trade, actually. I took a trade here, and I got out for about 6 ticks. We had 2 legs up. How far did it actually go? It went down and came back a little bit, so I got out. I think I got out for 6 ticks. Is that about right? 6 ticks, 5 ticks, I think. Yeah, $62, 5 ticks. We had a touch here, touch here, touch here, touch. It looked, actually, it's probably a little bit further down. It actually didn't look too bad because we had a leg and a leg. And then I kind of lost my confidence and got out of it. I think yesterday, those 2 losses yesterday knocked me confidence a bit. But it happens. It's just one of those things, isn't it? 2 legs up. It's hard to say at the moment. We have had a break from this channel, but they did look like something else. And one thing I can see down here is a load of orders around about 35 to 34. Now, yesterday, I had a few issues yesterday, and I think what I tend to do is if I have some problems, I kind of come back later in the evening and just kind of go over them and figure out what I think I did. Now, I purchased Bookmap just for a month to give it a try. And in all honesty, I actually prefer this because it's got the aggressive buyers and sellers. I've got to pay $99 a month to get that. You can't purchase it separately. So I actually prefer this in a way, and it's cheap. And I think what I did yesterday is I focused too much on Bookmap and not enough on the chart. Now, as I've mentioned a few times, the thing I think that Bookmap helps me with more than anything is staying out of trades. So what I need to do is focus on my chart and my strategy. And if I'm looking at take a trade off the bottom here, then refer to Bookmap. Is there orders below me? Should I be taking it, rather than making my decisions based on what I think Bookmap's going to do? So there is a failure there, but as we've had a break, 2 pushes for the new low, this thing so far has had 3 pushes higher. So I'm staying out of this because I'm not super sure what's going on. We had 2 pushes up and a big, strong bearish move down. Now, if this thing was going to go lower, my guess is it would have probably done it there. So I'm staying out of this. There's a bit of conflicting information here. 35 down here, there's a load of buyers, which tells me there's a good chance this could come down, which means I want to stay out of longs. But as we've had a break of this channel, we've had 2 pushes to an low, which had 1 leg up, pull back, 2nd leg up, pull back, 3rd leg up. So that's telling me now it's okay seeing those buyers down there, but if this thing starts to continue up, those buyers will just drop their orders. There's no point really. Just because the orders are there doesn't automatically mean this thing's going to come down. If this looks like it's going up, you're going to start to get aggressive buyers in, pushing it up, and then once it goes so far, these orders will just get dropped. So at the moment, I've got, it's okay to take losses. I was a bit peed off last night, probably more because I took 2 in a row. I only like to take 1 trade a day, and I rarely take more than that, to be honest with you. But I think now I've had this Bookmap, I think I'm relying on it too much. I still need to focus on my setup. Now, it's very easy as a trader when you get a setup and you've been trading it for a while to start looking for other ways to make life easier. And the simple fact is I don't think there is. We've all heard the saying, jack of all trades, master of none. I think it's a case of, you do a little bit of patch, you do a little bit of penguin, you do a little bit of ICT. I don't think it works. I think you need to get a system and focus on it. And I think, we all get to a stage when we realize trading is not easy, it's hard. And I think when something's difficult, you're constantly looking for ways to try and make it easy. And I don't really think they exist. These can guide you and maybe give you a little bit more confidence. But I think yesterday I looked back and I listened to what I was saying, and I watched what I was looking at, and I went short. In fact, let's have a kind of a recap. I took that trade there, the failure, Now, ordinarily, when I look back, we had sell orders up here, buy orders down the bottom, and clear sideways movement. So if I'd have been doing any shorts, they should have been up here, not in the middle. If I'd have been taking longs, they should have been down here, not in the middle. So ordinarily, I just stayed out of that, especially that, we're going below it, above it, below it, above it. That's clearly congestion. And I think I used Bookmap as a little bit of a crutch, kind of help me, support me. It's going to get me out of trouble. It's not, Bookmap's not going to give the answers you want. If you see a setup, then it's useful. If I'm thinking of going short here and I've got a stack of orders, then I think it's probably prudent to leave that setup alone. So there, I saw orders down here and I assumed that price was going to go down. Yeah, it may well do, but it may go up first. So Bookmap isn't a magic bullet. And I think a lot of times we do constantly look for things to make life easy, and I don't really think they exist. I think it's just part of the process, but you have to remember your bread and butter, which is your setup. So at the moment, I'm not sure what's going on. We had this channel down here with a break, 2 pushes to a new low. Looked like we were going to get 2 legs up. We had a strong push below the EMA, but pushed straight up. So sometimes these things look good, but they don't necessarily perform good. But even if you'd have taken that, I took it and got out for, I think I got, I get 12 for 5 ticks. I got out in the end. But it would have worked. But as soon as it came down, pushed up a bit, I got out of it. So, yeah, basically, life isn't easy. Trading isn't easy. It doesn't necessarily get easier. I think you just get better at it. But ultimately, I fully believe that PATS works. And I think, really, I just need to get it better. It's very hard to think, well, I've been doing it 5 years. If I'm not any good at it now, I should look for something else. But that's not the case. It can take years to improve and learn and learn. And, so looking for easy options and easy way outs don't really exist. There are things that could give you a little bit of confidence, but you've still got to find the setup to get into first before you look at Bookmap. If I'm looking at, as I say, a shorty, I look at Bookmap, no sellers here, loads of buyers down here, then that would give me the confidence to take the trade. I shouldn't be using Bookmap to take a trade, just to help me, that final nail in the coffin when I'm deciding to get in. So, yeah, let's see how we get on anyway. But, yeah, it's at the moment, we got kind of a little bit of mixed trading. We got kind of up, down at the moment. So the simple answer is when it's doing this left and right stuff, you just got to stay out. Unless, it's this much from top to bottom, then you can be shorting the tops and buying the bottoms. But when it's like this, working within about a 4-point range, going sideways, the easiest thing to do is just to stay out of it. Probably the sensible thing to do. So we've had 2 legs up, 1, 2, maybe 3 attempts. This could push up. I am still aware of these orders are down here. Maybe buyers are thinking if price comes back down here and tests this level, that's the time to get in because there's liquidity there, and there. There's a double load of liquidity there. There is there and there is there. So based on those, it'd be lovely for price to come down, clear this out, and then take off in a rocket ship. But doesn't necessarily mean it's going to. We've got kind of looks like a triple test there, but the bar hasn't broke below, so I'm just staying out of it because it is whipping back and forth. So, yeah, I mean, I got the global, which is $49. I got it I got the data half price for the first month. I thought I'd try it for a month, but I actually prefer this mainly because of this. I like the fact that you've got the aggressive buyers and sellers. That for me, plays quite a crucial part. But you've got to pay another 40, 49, 59, 60, 79, 89, an extra $50 per month just to have that. Well, that takes it up to $100 a month plus $34 for your live data. So it's $133 a month. And I can get everything I need really by looking at this. I thought being able to adjust things uh, myself, but to be honest with you, I ended up adjusting it to look more or less exactly the same. So I might as well just use this. Okay, so we know there are orders down here. 35 to 34, which is lower than this was. So yeah, and about here. So move down, 2 legs up. It does look like it's working down, doesn't it? There is a failure here, actually. That doesn't look too bad. Trouble is, I don't want to go short there because there is a little bit of resistance there. You can see it, or support. And we are bouncing 1, 2, 3 times here. So going short into that is a little bit risky because we have pushed up and bounced 3 times. So there's always a possibility it can break out and then turn and push up. And you may get in, it may push down, clear this liquidity, and then take off. So I'm just sitting tight at the moment. It's still really congested in this whole area. Ben, how you doing, buddy? Uh, it may have been a bit different if we'd have broke above this bullish bar, but we haven't really. But you can see, if you look at my main chart, there'll be liquidity there, there, and there. So there are big 3 strong levels. If it can get through this, the thing might absolutely drop. There's kind of a double lot there. And here. Trouble is, there are no guarantees. I just probably would avoid a long trade with such a large amount of orders down here. So this bull bar there has triggered. So it's kind of like a breakout pullback. I think if I was going to take trades, a trade shorts would probably be the better option with so much liquidity down here and buyers. But I can't just take a short based on that. I've still got to follow my strategy. And I think that's what got me into a little bit of spotter bother yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it's all good having this, but you don't know if buyers are going to start buying here. If they see that price can't get down here, they may decide to start jumping in here. You know, if buyers are predicting a move 2 legs down and we're going to push up and test these highs, you know, after clearing these lows, buyers may just decide to jump in. I mean, it's tempting. It's very tempting. But we've had these few legs up and 2 legs back, so it's very easy to get trapped short and for this thing to take off. I'm keeping an eye on these orders. If this thing pushes above this and continues up, I think these buy orders down here will start to disappear. See, straight away we're back into this little range, which is telling me I don't think there's strong enough sellers here to push price down, test these lows. Big bearish bar there. So I'm looking at the 4,000 tick chart as well. A channel down here with a break. We're going sideways. This is kind of double the size of the 2,000. We could still get a leg and a leg down. That fits kind of nice. Quite high at the moment. We've had 2 legs up. And this thing been pushing up, you think. This thing, you think it's likely to have a correction. So I think it's good to look at a larger picture. Now we got a failure. Here. Strong move up. This could push up. You know, we've had a couple of attempts, but I say could. This thing's bouncing back and forth, so I'm just sitting tight. I wouldn't be shocked if this thing pushed up some more. Trouble is, when it's doing this, it's very easy to get a bias in your head rather than just giving. When it's going sideways, there's, I think, really, there's 1, 2, 3. I mean, that is really interesting. 3 clear attempts to push up and a big bearish bar. But at the moment, it's very much side. It's very easy to take that and then get caught. There's going to be liquidity here, here, and here. The way that's pushing down, I think there's a good chance this comes down. In all honesty, I can't see it holding now with that. So once we get below there, I think it's game over. Yeah, that's it down for me. That's so strong. There's liquidity there, and then right down here. It may have a slight pullback, but I think that'll turn now. I think that's going to clear this bottom. There's going to be liquidity there. There's kind of a failure there. So I certainly wouldn't take a long here. Trouble is, you don't know how far it's going to come down. Could still just take off at any point, couldn't it? It's just not super clear. Once it gets below there, it'll get easier then. Yeah, that'll come down. Now, I can't see that leaving this, I think. So that worked out kind of nice, really, didn't it? But the trouble is, it's still in the middle of all that chop, so it's all right. It looks good, but it's quite a large bar. I mean, what's it down? 6 points. You don't know if it's going to come down and test and push up. Not much you can do here, really. Ah, I must have paused it. Now it's moving.
Sweep and Q buyers. Sweep and Q
I must have
buyers.
hit the pause button. Oh, mistake. Sorry, buddy. So we dropped down, cleared that out. So let's see where things go. We know there are buyers down here at in this level. There are some lower as well. So I think if you were going to buy this to push up, below these lows would be the place to do it. But that doesn't stop a load of aggressive buyers thinking, okay, we've fannied around enough. Let's just get in, put our stops down here and see if we can ride this back up to the top.
Stop ES buy.
Okay, see if we get a bearish bar here. Trouble is, it's getting very close, this area. You don't know how close it's going to get before buyers decide this thing isn't just going to come down anymore. It's likely to push up, and they just kind of jump in this area. Big bearish bar there. So if you took that, look what's happened. It's triggered you, and that's moving up. I'll be amazed if that doesn't stop you out. It's very sly, this market. It really is. I mean, literally, it came down one tick, was straight up. So if you'd have taken a second entry short there, we had a push below. We're clearly reacting to the bottom of this channel. All of a sudden, it gives you that and pushes up. This market is nasty. Follow NQ when trading. Yes, when trading. Yeah, NQ. That it's
Stop
lows
ES
of the day.
buy.
Yes, it's not.
Sweep
Yeah, it's
NQ
very
buyers.
close though.
Stop NQ
But
buy.
look at that. Put it
Stop
this way, we had
NQ
that
buy.
channel below, so we're clearly
Absorption
chopping up.
NQ sellers.
Channel below, we pushed up,
Stop
came
NQ
down, had
buy.
a second push up, big bearish bar, came pushed in above
Stop
the main,
NQ
right
buy.
down, and all of a sudden, tick below, massive 24 tick bar straight up, and literally within two
Sweep
bars, we're
NQ
right
buyers.
to the top.
Stop NQ buy.
So,
Sweep NQ
so
buyers.
you're saying it's at its lows, so I think that's close to its lows. So if the NQ pushes up, the ES will follow it. Those two work kind of side by side. Now, we may have, there's always a possibility that we may have something like this, two attempts to push higher and then a second leg down. But that's really speculation. You know, we often have a leg down, two attempts up, or vice versa, and then it comes down. Now, I'm just guessing that this may do it, and it may do with these two pushes up. But we've struggled quite a few times here to test these lows, and it isn't, you know, price isn't having none of it.
Sweep NQ
So I'm
buyers.
still keeping an
Sweep
eye on
NQ
these
buyers.
buyers here,
Stop
because if
NQ
this
buy.
thing starts to pushes up, test the top, and starts to move up, these buyers will just drop their
Stop NQ buy.
buy orders once it goes so far. But what I will say is we've got a channel down with a break. We've had two attempts to push lower, just can't get down. Cleared out any liquidity apart from that one bit, and all of a sudden a really strong move up. We've gone up 10 points, 10, 11, 12 points in 3 bars, 3, 4 bars. So there was obviously aggressive buyers, you know, came in there and took that thing higher. So, you know, I am starting to wonder now, is it going to get down? It certainly looks like it was trying, but who knows? So we've had a little bit more than 2 pushes up if you look at those at legs. But at the moment, I'm just sitting tight. There's not a lot you can do. It's kind of very choppy, isn't it? Even if you drag this kind of that way and bring it down here, that whole section there is kind of down, up, down, up. There's no clear direction there. There's no clear top. You may argue that there's a top there, possibly, but the bottom, there's not very much you can do. Yeah, I think we've got close enough to this areas, and buyers have just decided, look, you know, let's get in. Oh, sorry, mate. My mistake. It's a book. I keep forgetting to do that. It's the bookmap news. Sorry. Sorry. I tend to forget. Sometimes it's quiet, but then after a while, it just fries your brain, doesn't it? I keep forgetting to do that. Stu, I got the bottom there. 7 lots. Excited too quick. Yeah. Daryl, how you doing, bud? Yeah, it's when it's like this. I think the best thing to do. Now, it depends how you trade. You know, if you're getting in here somewhere, if you're getting in here somewhere around about there, you've got your stop down here, and you're planning on testing these highs. You've got about 1 to 2 risk or 1 to 2.5 risk. So maybe getting in here is not such a bad thing. It depends how you trade. You know, you're getting in here when it starts to go sideways. You've got your stop below the lows and giving you an extra 5-point spare. And chances are when it does bounce here and pushes up, it's more likely to test the area here. So, you know, you get in, maybe you kind of get in here. If price bounces here and pushes up, you know what I mean? Maybe you sort of take your stop and you pop it kind of here below that EMA, below the midline, and then try and capture your move. But from a Pat's point of view, if I get in here, if I get in there, put my stop there, and it does decide to trigger, come down and test this low, I'm screwed. If I'm in here, my stop's here. If it goes up, great. If it decides to trigger me, come down and test the lows, at least my stop's in it, given enough space, you know, to sort of mitigate that. But it depends how you trade. Now, if I had a gap like 10 points, I certainly wouldn't be trading the minis. You know, I'd be trading the micros. You know, and having maybe a couple of micros. So there's always an option. But you know, after we test this area, there is a good chance, as you know, as we know, price moves up and test the top. So if we end up, we've come back in a bit. If this thing pushes up and closes above this and continues up, if your stop's down in your orders here, you can at least bring that to break even. You know, there's always a possibility we may have another bounce at the top, but usually once we've pushed up and bounced for a second time and we move up, usually it's safe. You know, as we know, if there are buyers at this level, often it'll push up, come back a bit, clean out any previous liquidity. But, you know, if you've kind of entered in, you've made yourself some points, you could, you know, give that a low enough space so that if it does decide to clear liquidity before it continues on, you've still got it, given it enough space. But as I say, it depends how you trade. If you trade like you know, most of us here do, Pats, you've got no room for error. You've either got to get it right or you're wrong. You know, I do wonder sometimes. I would love to have a bigger stop. But, you know, things change with time. You never know. You know, all these strategies haven't just been handed down to us on tablets 10,000 years ago. They've just come from traders sat in front of a screen for long enough to go, actually, when I do this, it does that. Or when it does this, if I do that, that works. And it's more or less how it all boils down to. Little Hammer, how you doing, bud? I took that one there. I got out for, I think, 5 ticks. We kind of had this channel, 2 pushes down. We pushed up, came down, came back a bit, and I got out about here. But it does look like 2 legs up, and we got a touch. But I had a quick look at another chart, and a few other traders had this channel up, so I just kind of, I don't know, wussed out for want of a better word, but it would have made the 3 3.25 or 3 points, whatever it's got to make. So if I got in here, it would have to go there for me. So it would have worked, but you know, I had a couple of losses yesterday, and that just, it's amazing, really. If you've been trading, you know, a week or two, and I went for about 5 weeks without taking a loss. Now, granted, I didn't take a huge amount of trades. It sounds a bit more impressive, but when you've had a couple of losses, it gets in your head. You know, you have 6 or 7 wins over a couple of weeks and you feel on top of the world. Your accounts are looking nice. You take 1 loss, that's okay. You take a second loss, something starts to not feel right. so we got to move up in a second entry long. What time is it? I'm going to take a little break in a minute. I'm getting a bit thirsty here. I had a single malt when I come on the screen, and I'm getting a bit thirsty. Yeah, it's hard to know what's going on here, isn't it? Okay. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. Let's move that over a bit. I'm just going to take a quick 5 minutes, and then I'll be back. It's still hard to know what's going on. I thought this may take off, but it looks like it's coming back. So I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to make myself a quick cup of tea. I'll be back with you. Okay. Show me your yeah, it's that one. In fact, I'll mark it. I was going to tell you guys something now. I forgot what it was. Okay. So now that's interesting. This thing looks like it was going to take off 1 minute. Looked like it couldn't get down. All of a sudden, we came down, went right into that area, and then away we went. There's still strong orders down here at 30. Now, whether it'll get down there or not, we may do. Could trap some longs here and come down for a second leg. In fact, I would say that is more of a chance of doing that. So there's a second entry short there, which is triggered. See if we get a lower high. Second entry short stroke lower high. That's interesting with those orders down here. Very tempting. Strong move down, 2 legs up. See if I'm looking at Bookmap, there are orders down at 32 and 30 down here, so it's very tempting to take that. I'm just super nervous, to be fair. When is Black Friday? I'm not sure, but actually. Do you know what?
Order submitted.
Second entry short, lower high, testing the key entry point. Mind you, the risk's quite big, isn't it? Straight away. I'm just not sure yet. I want out of this.
Target filled.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about this. I want out of it. Trouble is, what I'm looking at, I'm looking for liquidity, and there isn't a huge amount. I got out of it. What did I get a tick out of it? Everything closed, is it? I think so, yeah. Just not sure about things. It is a lower high. I am definitely having a little bit of a confidence issue. There's for a certain. Trouble is, I like to have... The trouble is, if you look at that bar there, we'd already broke that liquidity with that bar. So that makes me think there's not much in the way of liquidity. So we could get something like this. Leg down, 2 attempts back, and then down. I think I'm just having a little bit of a confidence battle at the moment. I think what I've done is let Bookmap probably get me a little bit too confident yesterday. Could be something like that. If we get a second attempt, that's probably a better option. I think what I was doing is focusing on it too much instead of watching the chart. Ultimately, the chart, you know, you've got to pay attention to the chart. I'm doing the 300 eval and getting a 20. Yeah, it is. Do you know what? I've never had a I remember watching, I think it was the first guy that Apex ever paid $1 million to. I forget his name now. But he said he got 300,000 accounts, and he did traded an average of 2 to 3 contracts per time. So, now if you can get to the PA, then that's okay, I think, because you've got something like a $7,500 drawdown. That's okay. I don't mind the $300,000 account in that sense, but trying to get to $20,000 of profit just to pass it, I think, is horrendous. You get three. Basically, I think sometimes you're better off having three $50,000 accounts as one $300,000, because you get $7,500 a drawdown in three $50,000 accounts than you're doing one $300,000. But you've only got to make $9,000, $3,000 on each in the 350s. You've got to make more than double that. So I'm surprised they've never brought that profit target down on the 300,000, because if they do, I think they may attract more people. Yeah. A big picture also. One large leg down. Yeah. I mean, seeing that leg down, I think really, let's pick the most obvious correction, which would be that to that, which is kind of about right in it. And then we got the strong move down. So I think there's a good chance we get this second leg. I would say the first thing I'd say is there's a good chance we break these lows. We've already done that, and then we had the pullback and then the lower high. So the lower high does look like it's working. The trouble is, it's easy when, if you take away that, where was the lower high? If you take away, if you take away that, you're not so sure, are you? But when you bring that in and that in, it looks obviously okay, because it worked. But at the time, it's you've got that confidence button. I think sometimes when you have a couple of losses, it does get inside your head. If you've been trading 20 years and making 300,000 or 400,000 a year, then probably it doesn't. But you also took a long yesterday. It takes a trader to, yeah. Oh, took a loss. Yeah, I was going to say a long. I tell you, one thing didn't help my cause yesterday. Big mistake, I think. Something I should know better. We're going up. We're going up. We're going up. It was generally a bullish day, and I got into that trade. So we'd had a couple of legs back, and we were starting to work up. I should have stayed out of that. One, it's in the middle of chop, and generally at the time, we didn't know we were going to drop, but at the time, we're generally bullish, and you don't know whether it's going to rattle around here and push up for another leg. So I shouldn't really be looking for shorts, especially this soon. We pushed up, pull back, pushed up, pull back, pushed up, pull back. What's the next thing? Push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back. What do we do? Push up. So taking a short here, I shouldn't have done really, but I think I was that focused on Bookmap saying there's orders down here. Well, there may well have been orders down here, but it doesn't mean to say it's going to push up and clear this area before it pushes down. So it's very easy to get kind of, stuck in the wrong mentality. So, yeah, but as you say, you take a couple of losses. To be honest with you, it's not that often I take 2 losses in a row. It's not that often I take 2 trades in a row, but I think I was focusing too much on Bookmap as opposed to use it as a backup when I decide to take a trade. Ben, 300,000 account. The idea you are using probably 10, 20 contracts. And it's insane. Not many, but no. You've got our balls of steel, and you're all drunk a significant, copious amounts of single malt. Some people, and I don't know how, can just. Okay, so let's put it like this. Let's all of a sudden say I turn around and I stick 250,000 in your bank account. and you're living at home and you're living with parents who've got £1 million house and they've got endless supplies of money and you don't need to work, it's very easy to take risk, isn't it? But when you've got I've got a 17-year-old daughter, I haven't got a big house. I've got a 3-bedroom semi-detached house. It's not big by any means. It's relatively small. So I've still got to earn a living, and you have to be sensible. I thought many times about going for 5 contracts, maxing out, trying to grow quick. And it's not the sensible thing to do. Now, if I won £500,000 on the lottery, then I'm pretty sure I'd trade these accounts very differently. So, you have to there's a saying over here in the UK, probably everywhere, you've got to live to your means. So if I have to be careful and think about money, then I've got to work the same way. If I've got plenty of money in the bank and so on, then I can take risks. My 50k was on day one on payout. I lost 2-3 with a silly mistake, but gonna get so quickly. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Stu. I'll tell you what to help you, mate. And I've got this. I took 2 trades yesterday. I took 2 losses. Now, if you look at my chart here, and I changed the order to 2 contracts, it won't let me, will it? It won't let me change to 2 contracts because I have my Guardian Angel set that I can trade a maximum of 1 contract. And I have my Guardian Angel trader set that I can take a maximum of 2 losses. So yesterday, I had an overwhelming urge to want to keep trading, but I dropped it quick because I knew I couldn't. And if you looked when I finished yesterday, if you go back and looked, all these buttons are greyed out. They're faint, so it won't let me. And after 2 losses, the sensible thing for me to do, because I know what I'm like, the sensible thing for me to do would be to walk away, which is what I did. I had no choice. Now, I didn't walk away straight away. In fact, that reminds me, I put a couple of photos and I noted them. Now, this is showing you what I should be using Bookmap for. So I took some photos here. So there was 2 trades I noticed. This was the first one. So we're clearly in a range. Now we've had a move up. We've had 1 leg back and a second leg back. The temptation there is to take a trade. You may say 3 trades. That trade there, if you look left, can you see these masses of buy orders down here? So I left that. So, second trade. So, sorry, that was the first one. Big buy orders right below. You can see them there, can't you? So that was the first. I didn't take a trade. I just marked it. And this one as well. There was the second trade. Same again. If you haven't got Bookmap, the temptation is to go long there. We've cleared liquidity. We've had a bounce. That's what I should be looking for Bookmap. So if I'm looking at the chart and thinking, actually, I like this for a long, quick glance at Bookmap, realize there's a massive order, there's a couple of points below where my entry is, I'll leave that one alone. And both times it triggered above, push down, triggered above, push down. That's what I should be using Bookmap for, not necessarily to make a decision on what entry I should take. Purely and simply, whether the trade I like is valid or not. So I got a little bit mixed up on that yesterday, and I shouldn't have done that. So I just I watched the chart. When I made a cup of tea, watched the chart for a bit, and I'm thinking, okay, this is what I need to be doing, and this is where I got it wrong. I can use Get Right Now. Can't access. Told me to access a website for support, and it doesn't recognize my previous purchase. Okay, I've had that exact same problem. Now, I tell you what might help you. When you remember I changed over to a different computer a while ago, and I had some problems, and I put something on there, and he never got back to me. So I emailed him. I said, look, my name's Lance. I have a YouTube channel, the UK Futures Trader, and I live stream, blah, blah, blah. I had a very different reaction. He said to me, okay, I'll tell you what, download Google Connect or something. I've got it on here, down here somewhere. Download Google Connect, generate a code, let me know the code. I'll hook into your computer and do it for me. So, you know, the thing about being a YouTuber, although I'm only small time compared to some of them, you know, some people will go a little bit further for you. So I would say, look, just message him and just say, look, I watch the UK Futures Trader. You helped him out. He advised me to contact you, blah, 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 and see what they can do. See what he can do. But you've got to do something different now. You've got to go on to something like Shoot, I think it's called. Is it Shoot? And do it that way. But yeah, I had problems with it. It's not by any means straightforward. So do that, bud. If you don't have any luck, let me know again and I'll drop a message. So what's going on here? We've had a couple of legs up, tested this area. Is this coming down? Possibly. We have got those orders down here, but it doesn't necessarily mean, even though we've got those orders, if you've had a load of buyers down here, and every time price comes down, they might decide to add. Click Argo. No, bud. I'll find it for you. I'd show you what it is, but I can't get into mine. It's locked out. So, this is it. So if I click on it here, it's specifically, that's the Spanish version. Spent ages trying to figure out what it was saying. There is another version of it. That might be it. Okay, I've got it on English. There we go. So that's it there. Doesn't really show you much. But what it basically is, I'm just trying to find a picture of it. It's 350 euros. Just trying to find the picture of the chart. Can't find it at the moment for some reason. I don't know what that is. But what it basically does is, I can't open it at the moment, and I'll show you. But if I try and open it, it gives me this. And if I select that and try and open one of my accounts, it won't let me. I have mine to only let me trade between the hours of 1:30. Sorry, I have my Guardian Angel locked, so I can't get into it. Basically from 12:30 to 1:30. I have the first section 1:30 to basically midnight, and then 1 minute past midnight to 12:30. Apart from that, I can't change anything. So when things go wrong, if I decide to panic, there's nothing I can do. But you can set certain parameters. So only allowed trade between a certain time, only allowed one contract, only allowed 1, 2, 3 losses. You can even set a timeout, so it won't let you trade for, say, 2 minutes or 5 minutes after a loss to give you that little bit of time to breathe. There are loads of little settings like that that you can implement to stop you doing things should you panic, should start to go wrong. So it's basically a fail-safe. And you can't even delete the software because it blocks the Ninja script. So no matter what happened yesterday after those 2 losses, I could not trade for the rest of the day. The good thing is I've got it set sensible, and my loss for yesterday, including fees, were about $295. So if I'd have carried on yesterday, 2 things would have happened. 20% of the time, I'd have won my money back. 80% of the time, I'd have blown all those accounts. So it gives you that little bit of backup to protect yourself should the worst happen. And it can help you get out of bad situations and get out of bad habits as well. When it works, I put it this way, I've never had an issue with it. I've had an issue reconnecting it when I got a new computer, but when it's working, it works fine. Now, I had an issue the other day with it, and when I disconnected the lock stop, it worked. So I messaged him about that. In fact, I'm waiting for him to get back to me about that. So as soon as I put the lock stop to stop it moving my stop, But I mentioned it to about that before. When you've got that locked stop, you might think, well, I can't move my stop, but it doesn't stop you closing your stop and just leaving the trade active without a profit. So it kind of gets around that way, but hopefully he's putting something in place. But it will save you money. You blow 2 or 3 accounts, it's paid for itself. When you're locked out, when you see great trade. No, you can't take it basically. It's there. So if me and you are having a beer and we say, okay, what's the sensible thing to do? The coal light a day, 1 or 2 losses, you're done for the day. 1 contract, 2 contracts, figure out which is sensible. It's easy to, if you're trying to lose weight, it's easy to make a plan when you've just stuffed down a 3,000 calorie pizza. It's easy to say, I'm going to lose weight tomorrow, but come tomorrow, when you start to get hungry, you start to panic and eat a load of crap. But if you decide to put a great big bolt on the fridge and freezer, and you ask the local shop to not let you in, chances are you might get some success. So that's kind of the reason behind it. This is getting a bit hard to. This is messing around a bit today. We got 2 legs up. It's not the easiest to trade today. It's getting a lot of messing around. I've grown big and economic. Yeah, that may be the case. But I can tell you now, Guardian Angel traded with me is more than paid for itself. It's just hard to trade this. It's congested. It's choppy. It's just not easy. You have to purchase it again to use. No, you don't. It might just seem like that. Try messaging him and just say, look, I'm struggling to get it to work. I spoke to a buddy of mine, the UK futures trader, who live streamed. It's been 3 weeks, who live streams. Can you help me get back on? And if you have no luck, then let me know and I'll see what I can do. He's changed over to something, the way you connect it. You just don't know. It may be the case. Is it stupid or something like that? Let me have a look. No, it's what it is. No, don't pay for it again. It's a lifetime thing. You shouldn't have to do that. Definitely don't do that. I forget what it is now. Let me emails. I had to pick off some deleted emails. Try and find out what the message was. Just try pester him for starters. Okay, I'll tell you what, Jay. Private message me and give me your email address and I'll message him. It might help. It might help. If you're a YouTuber, people realise if you're pissed off about something, word may spread a little bit better. So although I'm only small time compared to some of them, when I told him what I did, it was kind of more than helpful. So sometimes it might give you a little bit of sway. So message me your email address and I'll say to him, he's been trying to get hold of you. Just put a brief description of what you've done, that you've messaged him and what's gone wrong, and I'll message him on your behalf, mate, see if we can get somewhere. Okay. We still can't seem to get into this area just yet. Hopefully slightly higher. Now, there's a good example. Channel break, 2 legs down. Why I wouldn't go long there, because there's a load of buy orders in this area. Now we've got may not be a channel, but we've had 2 legs up, 2 legs down to a new low. So I wouldn't trade that. That's a type of trade that you think, oh, let's go long here. But because I'm looking at Bookmap and I can see a stack of orders down here, that would keep me out of that trade. Now, it doesn't mean it will work, but it means if there's a bunch of orders down here, they may be a bit smarter than me, and there may be a lot more of them than me, so I would leave that trade. Now, if all of a sudden buyers think, actually, I like this, let's aggressively buy here, price will go up regardless. But that is a good example of when to stay out of a trade. Dan took that as well, that one I did. So if you would have taken that trade there, 2 legs down, chances are you'll get stopped out. Especially if you're going to have 2 legs down. Neo, how you doing, buddy? He's saying you don't know his business. At the end of the day, if he's not replying to you and you've paid for his services, you're damn well within your right to let him know. I'd be pissed off if I wasted my money and I wouldn't even consider paying it again. So that one didn't get stopped out, see, so it got so close to it. But that's what I mean. You can see these aggressive buyers pumped in there. It doesn't mean to say it won't come back again. No, don't worry about that, mate. Look, at the end of the day, yeah, I'll leave that on for a few minutes for you, bud. That's my email address, so if there's anything you need anyway, just message me. But Jay, I think you've got my Facebook. I am on Facebook anyway. So you can private message me, however you want to contact me. Yeah, if you've paid $300 odd or whatever it is, $399, and you can't get it to work, I'd be knocking on his front door. So don't worry about that, mates. At the end of the day, if you message him, he should get back to you. You know, if he's grown too big or whatever, then that's not your fault. You've paid for your services, you should get it. So if he is too busy, then that may be the case, but you're still well within your right to get this sorted out or get your money back. So just tell me what you've done. Something's gone wrong. You've messaged him on so-and-so. Absolutely. Yeah, I would be. I wouldn't not be. If something's not right, I'm not happy. I'd be doing something about it. So we got 3 little attempts. You may say triple test there to go short. Trouble is, we've got buyers down here. If I go short here, it ain't got far to go before it starts getting into this territory of buyers. So now it may get kind of absorbed by sellers thinking this is pushing down for another leg, but it's not the easiest day today. There's quite a lot of chopping in different directions. I will say what I kind of like is the fact that we've made 2 attempts to push high and we couldn't. I got so. I'm ending up messing so many trades up. Hesitate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've done a bit of that myself. There have been setups where I've hesitated. You've heard me probably talk about going from being careless to too cautious or overcautious. I think that's probably part of it. It's very easy to, we know we've got to sit back patiently and wait for good setups. The trouble is, setups can appear that quick. You're kind of thinking, if I just jump in here, I think I'm being a little bit impulsive. Being impulsive and jumping into a trade relatively quickly kind of comes with the territory when you trade in this style of trading. And I think in a way, you've just got to, if you see a trade, you've just got to go for it. But yeah, I've done quite a bit of that myself lately. Missed setups. I wouldn't beat yourself up, because I think you're better off to be overcautious and miss setups than be too jumpy and too careless and jump in. So I wouldn't be hard on yourself, mate. I think that's, in the great balance of things, I think you're tipping towards the safer side than the opposite. So for me, that's all part of it. You get a bit hesitant. You're not sure. You question yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Blah, blah. Before you know it, the trades move. You look on the Discord, realise half a dozen other people took it, and damn, you missed out. I won't worry about that. I don't beat myself up too much. I used to, but I don't now, because I always feel like if I'm not sure or something doesn't feel right, leave it alone. And if you find out you're missing quite a lot of trades, you'll probably naturally dial back on your overcautiousness a tiny touch, and you'll probably then slip back into a better balance. So I won't be hard on yourself, mate. Trading is about finding your natural rhythm, and I think that just comes with time. And I think worrying about trying to change it, I don't think there's much you can do. I think you naturally just find your own rhythm. It'll just come in time. So better to be holding back than jumping in at every time price gets back to the EMA and end up losing trades. So don't worry about missing them. This for me is something that just comes with time. Practice, like anything, any type of job, whether you're a doctor or lawyer or something. The more, if you're a doctor, the more people you care, the less you're going to screw up, the less you're going to kill. You know what I mean? You make mistakes in any job. This is a particularly tough one, not just because of the skill, because you got the added emotion, and that kind of, just adds that little frustrating part to it. Real hard with the bars and chop through it, size back and make the periods last. Yeah. Do you know, I think one of my characteristics of who I am, it frustrates the hell out of me, because I'm constantly changing my mind. Now, I've decided I'm going to go for one contract, and then a week later I've decided I'm going to go for two contracts, and then I've decided I'm going to go for 3 points, and then 2 points. I seem to be constantly toing and fromming, and it frustrates the hell out of me. It's just part of who I am. I hate that about myself. I really do. I wish I could just pick something and stick to it. But it's just kind of part of who I am, and there's not really a great deal I can do about it. But it's very easy. I watched a video about a guy who risks 25% of it and just tries to grow them quick. Well, that might be okay for some people, but you may do that with half a dozen accounts and blow them in a couple of days, and it may not be good for you. But by far, the most I hear traders talking about is that people trade too much, too aggressive. Now, it's okay trading aggressive, but if you haven't got a big set of balls, you're going to struggle. And I certainly haven't. Mine are kind of pea size, I reckon. So I don't like taking big risks unless I'm going on tilt, in which case I quite happily take them. But I think you're better to kind of be sensible. and grow. Well, I proved it to myself last month. I picked up 5 funded Apex funded accounts and 5 Traderify accounts, and I traded those for 2.5 months. Got to payment level and withdrew $16,000. So it does work. It just takes quite a bit longer, and the tendency is to get impatient. It's very tempted to take a short here. Pull back, down. So we got pull back, lower, high, down, pull back, lower, high, down. But I'm going to sit tight here because it does look kind of good. I'm looking down here to see who I'm trapping, and on here I can't see a great deal, and it's 14 ticks. So I know there's liquidity down here, but it's tried once, twice, 3. It's tried a bunch of times to get down here, and it does seem to be struggling. So for me at the moment, I think the sensible option is just to sit tight. Because it is very much up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And it's very easy to we got a channel up there, we have a break, triggers your pushes up. The fact that it works is irrelevant. You don't know that when you take the trade. It's very easy to say, oh, I wish I'd have taken that, now it worked. Well, when you went to take the trade, it didn't, and you didn't know it. So I try and avoid saying that, beating yourself up when you see something work, because it's, if I knew it was going to work, I'd have jumped into it. It's not easy today. It's whipping around a bit. Does look like it's struggling to get up, but that can all change, especially when it is whipping up and down like this. It's like, yeah, it does feel like Monopoly money, isn't it? It's amazing how you can throw money away so easy, isn't it? I know credit cards. I've had $2,000-3,000 on credit cards now, but I've got control of them. But the trouble is, trading, when you're learning, is very much like gambling. It's easy to go through a ton of money super quick. Now, in the UK, you can't bet in a bookmaker's off a credit card. And they've done that to stop people who are addicted to trading. Now, it's okay if you've got money, you blow that, that's one thing. But if you're blowing money you haven't got, that can get you into a whole new heap of debt. So you can't do that in the UK with bookmakers, but there's nothing stopping you getting 20 Apex accounts, 10 of this, 10 of that, 5 of this, 5 of that, and slap it all on a credit card and get yourself $5,000 worth in debt and blowing the account. So I do wonder whether that will start to change in time. But I mean, when the money's on a credit card, you don't have to pull out your pocket. It's so much easier to go through it. So there is a failure there. I'm not taking a trade here because we bounced 2 or 3 times here before. And if we are ranging, we come off the top 3 times. We bounced off the bottom twice. What's going to happen down here? Are we going to bounce? Well, based on what we've seen so far, we're probably going to bounce. So I won't take a trade here. Just for that reason. I'll be shorting into the lows, to be honest with you. So you can see we bounced there. So taking a short here, you don't know whether it's going to come down a few ticks and then off we go. Pro gambler. Trains traders. Really? Yeah, I mean there are professional now. I mean, if you were into your horse racing, a big thing over here is horse racing. They have horse racing every day, most of the day at various places around the world. But if you were a horse racing fanatic, you certainly have more chance of making money out of it than I would, who doesn't know, its arse from its head. So there are professional gamblers. I dare say there's not as many as traders, but there are professional gamblers out there. So I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be a quick minute. So, once, twice through. So this does look like it's working, but I don't think it's safe to take that because we could have a real solid bounce here. We're into this area more or less now. We know there are buyers here. So you can clearly tell that this is an area based on Bookmap that there are buyers trying to push this market up or catch the lows. So taking a trade like that so close to these lows as short, I think is a big no-no really. So if you go one tick below, what's it gone down? 1.5. You'd have got a point and a quarter. Now it doesn't mean it won't continue down, but you may argue there's a triple test there. And if we're kind of ranging, that probably wouldn't be the worst place to take a short. Now, for me, looking at Bookmap and seeing those orders there, I would naturally avoid this one. If those orders have been sucked up there, then I'd have probably had a go. But as they still exist right below this stop, my gut feeling is this is a risky trade. Well, come on, up, up. They won't let you sit there. So it counts for 5 minutes. Yeah. I've never been to a casino. Never. Not really got many in the UK. There are some in London and places in the West Midlands, but I've never been to one. They're not so popular here, really. Okay, so we know there are buyers here, don't we? That's for certain. We've had 3 bounces, but I'm not convinced that that is a place to take a long for me. Now, it doesn't mean it won't push up. But for me, with those buy orders just below that level, I'd rather just sit tight. Can't recognise my account, etc. Just now, and already responded today. This be the day. Previous issues. There you go. Fingers crossed. You don't know what's going on in his life. You know, he may have grown too big. He may this, he may that, but at least you're getting somewhere now. So that's good. I think it's important if you've got GAT, you've got to get it up and working. But you have paid for your license, so you're entitled to it. So that's good. It'll save your account. You know, if anybody hasn't got it, I'd absolutely recommend buying it. I know lately he's changed it somehow. He's changed it over to this. I don't know if it's Stoop or Shoop or something. Sign into now to validate or something or other. As I say, I'm better with hardware than software. So let's see if this thing lasts. My guess is it's going to get stopped. So how much would it have got? So you'd have got 0.5-ish off it, I think, maybe a touch more than that. About 0.5. Got a tick through. So a lower high here, I still wouldn't take a lower high because there's going to be 2 lots of traders trapped with a big bunch of buy orders. Down there, around about there. My guess is that'll get stopped out. So that's why I wouldn't take a trade there, because it wouldn't have worked. Now, if you go for a point, a scalp point, something like that, back to the EMA, then, you know, that may be an option. But I think this can have a little flick down in a minute and take that out. Yeah, there we go. So if you did take that, for any more than the 1.5, you just got stitched. Even though you could argue we're in a range here and it's a triple test. It's a clear triple test. Bounce, bounce, bounce. We got a channel down here. You know, I absolutely get why traders wouldn't take that. We've got a little micro channel with a break, new low. Triple test right off this support here. Why wouldn't you take that? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Mac marked that because it made, you'd have got a 1.5 out of it. But for me, with these orders down here, that is a trade that I would have had to stay out of. Now, when it pulls back like this before it comes down, you don't quite know how far it's going to do. It may at the EMA, it may not. It may just trigger and come straight down. You never quite know how far these pullbacks have been. So that will have picked up some of the buyers, but there are still some there. It's not the easiest day today. It's kind of very choppy, isn't it? You have quite clear areas, and then we have clear areas, and then all of a sudden it's quite a lot of traders getting trapped here. So you got kind of two legs up, bearish bar, big bullish bar here. I get why traders may have taken that one. We've had two legs down from this. Let's go long here. What happens? Triggers you, comes down, stops you out. Buy order down here, pushes up, comes down, stops you out. It's very choppy. So got a big bullish bar and that's trapped again. So there are orders down here, but that's quite strong. So we've had 3 attempts to get down to this bigger bunch of buyers, and it may not happen. If it starts to take off, they might just decide to jump in or pull or yank their orders. Just switch my heater on, baby. Yeah, that's the trouble. Sometimes you'll see these orders, and all of a sudden, when price gets close, they just get yanked. But look how many times we're bouncing here. So if you think there's a little micro there with a break, 1, 2 pushes down to a new low, strong buy in there. But is that going to push us up? If this continues up and gets above here, these will disappear, I think. Trouble is, you never quite know what it's going to do that. It's just tempting to see such strong buyers and just jump in here. You can bet there's going to be some stops there, but It's hard to believe there's 6 more Sundays until Christmas. It's gone so quick, hasn't it? I'm actually looking forward to Christmas this year. I'm looking forward to a break. This will have been my 3rd year, I think, streaming. Started November 2002, 2002, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, right. Third year. 1, 2, 3. It'll be my 3rd year. Been streaming 3 years in November. This month, actually. Wow. Can't believe how quick that's gone. Surprised I haven't put you all to sleep by now. This is my 700th video live stream. 700. That's unbelievable, that. So my first live stream was 2 years ago. That's not right, is it? No, sure not. It's longer than that. Have a look. My first live stream was longer than that. Yeah, there we go. That was my first ever live stream. 22nd November 2002. Yeah. So another 11 days. I'll have been streaming exactly 3 years. That's gone quick. So, boom, boom, boom. Is this coming down? I'm guessing it is. It is 2 legs up. It's tempting, that is. And I'm just sitting tight at the moment. But what I will say is when it gets up to this level, so far, price is coming down. It's coming down. It's coming down. But I'm doing nothing here as well. Part of the reason is there is a few orders. There. You can see them. Not a huge amount, but there is some orders there at 40. 1 tick above this bearish bar. Now, the strongest orders are down here, so my guess is it's going to work. They're not that strong. And when they're not that strong, often they don't make a big difference. But I'm just still sitting tight because we've had 3 attempts to push down here. 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4. And we've broken below it. And then we've got a big, strong bull bar. So although those orders are down there, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get taken. So that's gone down 2 points. So there'll have been a 1.75 available there. So far, that is. So let's see if this hits this level. They're fading a bit. They're not as, there we go. So I didn't take that trade based on orders there. Although they weren't super strong, it came down 2 points, which isn't enough for me. It went up, would have stopped me out. So that looks like a triple test. It's clearly going sideways. Triple test. I absolutely get why people may have taken that. You know, you kind of argue that this got a little channel break, new high bearish bar, and what happens? Comes down. You know, Mac may mark it because it made a scalp. That's no good to me. So it hit those sell orders, and then all of a sudden dropped. Has it made me a better trader? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm convinced of it, because when you've got people watching over your shoulder, you try and do things a little bit better than you may have done. You know, I don't know what you guys do in your normal, whether you're full-time traders or, but if you were doing your normal job and maybe your bosses were coming around watching you, you'd probably do a little bit more of a neater job, wouldn't you? So I think when there's two reasons I started it. The first reason was a guy once said to me, surround yourself with people you want to be like, so mix with other traders. So that was the first reason I started it. And the second reason was accountability. If I'm being watched, I'm less likely to do something stupid. And I will say, I think you guys have only ever seen me in the last 3 years melt down 2, possibly 3 times. But I've had major meltdowns in the background. So when people are watching you, it's better. So for that reason, I would say absolutely. Now, another reason as well, there's a lower high here. It's very tempting.
Order submitted.
The trouble is, it's looking a bit choppy here, so I'm just going to, it's very tempting, that is. I'm just going to sit tight here at the minute. Now, there aren't necessarily strong orders up here to worry about so much, but if I look on this left chart, it's proper choppy, and we've pushed up into a little bit of choppiness. It may go higher, so for that reason, I'm just
Order
leaving
canceled.
that one alone. And I'm always been a talker. You know, even sometimes if I've been out walking, sometimes I've been chuntering to myself. It just helps me process things if I'm, talking about. So it's just thinking out aloud, isn't it? And it kind of works for me. So, I know a few of you guys in the past have said, stop talking to us, focus on what you're doing. I can actually, I know exactly what I'm looking at now, and I can still talk. It's like driving and talking. I'm still focusing on me driving, but I can talk as well. So yeah, it's definitely helped me, and it's got me to know a load of good people. I've had chats with you guys on and off now for 3 years via Facebook, via social media and other types of social medias. I've even had the odd phone call with a few of you, and private messages I get quite often, and I like that, because trading is boring as arse. You sat by yourself in a room like a sad person, trying to make a life for yourself. So I think when you've got other people to mix it with, bounce off, share ideas, and get a little bit of support as well when things go tough, I think it's a win-win, I think. What does a meltdown mean? When I end up going on tilt, I think I've only gone on tilt maybe 3 times. Because I think when you do go on tilt, it's embarrassing when people are watching you. So I've avoided it, and usually it's after the stream when I've gone on tilt. So while I'm on stream, I feel pretty safe. It's after when I come off. Not so much now, because I don't do as stupid things as I used to. But I can't tell you how many times I finish the screen, finish the chart, and within about 3 seconds, I was in a trade for 3, 4, or 5 contracts. But I generally don't do it now. So, big bearish bar, lower high, triggered, pushed up. At the moment, this is choppy. There you go. So if you'd have taken that one or that one, you'd have got stopped out. So another reason why I've just left this alone, because if it was 2 clear legs, then that might not be too bad. But we had a break here, and we had a new high. Broke above there, liquidity, and then we had a lower high. So I get why traders may have had a go at that. Yeah, I like chatting to people, because it's to technology still blows me away. I could be chatting with you guys at various other parts around the world. I love that. I'm stuck in a bedroom in the middle of Shropshire in Nowhereville, and I can chat to people all around the world. I love that. Trading's tough. It's much better if you've got people around you. Stop you slicing your wrist, even to take away the razor blades. This is hard going today. It's very choppy, isn't it, today? Very choppy. It's really easy to get caught in the wrong direction. Tell you what, I will say, those traders down there who've got passive orders sat waiting must be bloody patient. Everybody has those meltdown moments. Everybody goes through it. There are some people who are much better controlled, of course. You know, some people are just focused on life. It doesn't matter what they do. You know, they've got a good physique. They get up at 5 o'clock, run 5 miles, drink a load of cabbage juice. There are those people who just focused on life. Some people just, you know, saying they're going to do something and doing it. Some people are just like that. Not me, unfortunately. No way you're going to get me out of bed for a run at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I will say that I have improved when it comes to discipline and patience. You know, I have questioned myself in the past whether I'm disciplined in life enough to be able to do this. And now, generally, patience is probably one of my strongest points. It was my weakest by far when I started. But now, so we had those nice 2 legs up. A lower high I'd have had a go at, but we didn't get one, unfortunately. That was just not that good. But you can clearly see this move down. Really perfect correction right to the tick and then straight down. That's kind of very much a penguin style setup. He'd have taken that maybe here somewhere on a limit order. Put his stop there and out here for a 1 to 2. It's a very neat correction. Trouble is, until it reacts to there, you don't know it's a correction, and that's the trouble. Hmm. So it's a big bull bar there. That would be liquidity. Kind of a failed breakout, really. Trouble is, we have got liquidity at 43.75, which is around about there. Probably take that on the engulfing, actually. Okay, if you took that on the engulfing, that doesn't look too bad, actually. There's a higher low there. How far is this thing going to go? I don't think it's a terrible trade. There's not much room to the highs. That's the trouble. It's just not much room up here. There is orders here above here, so that's one positive thing. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a reversal. We've had multiple times to break, and we broke the lows there, although we haven't hit this area, and this is taken off quite strong. So I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes up now. Yeah, and if you look on Bookmap, can you see these buy orders around about the 39 here? So there's buy orders now thinking about this looks like it's going up. So 13, well, there we go, 39. Funnily enough, is this area of on a previous support here. So my guess is now this is reversing. We've made multiple attempts to go lower and we haven't. So maybe that was an okay trade. Trouble is, just you've got to have enough room to the highs, and I didn't. Even if I get in there, I mean, there's a point. You've got to push through. I could probably squeeze it back a bit more, but there's a point and a half. Take a tick off to push through. There's a point and a quarter. You don't know it's going to do this. But this does look like a reversal. Slight overshoot there, so maybe we get a correction here. There are orders down here. You can see them now. So I think these will disappear soon, I think, if this pushes up any higher. But you can see orders coming in here now for buy-in. So my guess is a couple of legs back. It's there. I think that's a bit low. I think it's a bit... it's quite a bit lower, isn't it? Where's this? This is 42 and a half. Which is down here. So there are buyers here, not as strong. There's stronger buyers here. So maybe we have something like that. Okay, that looks okay to me. Trouble is, now we know we pushed up, you can argue second entry long was okay. But, you know, first thing Max says, as long as you've got enough room to the highs, and I haven't, that's the downside. Absolutely, mate, yeah. There's no magic bullet. It's not magic. But, for instance, when we had this triple test, very tempted to take that. Now, I go for 3 points now. Some go for 2, some go for 3, some go for 1.5. It went up 2 points. You'd have got 1 3/4 points before coming back and stopping you out. While these orders are down here, As I say, there's no guarantee they're going to get hit. But there's a good chance it acts as a magnet, and you can see it pulled down, it pushed up, it pulled down again, and pulled down again, broke below, and it couldn't quite get there. And then once it started to push up strong for me, then this looks like things are changing. But you can see we tried multiple times, and, you know, it doesn't always work. But it just gives you a little bit of an extra picture. For me, it stops you getting, you know, caught out in trades. That may have been one of them. That was a possibility as well. It triggered you, came down, it missed you by a tick. But with those orders down here, I would have avoided that. But you just never know. So, you know, let's say, for argument's sake, candlesticks give you 50% the picture. This gives you maybe 30% the picture. You've got a little bit more of understanding of where other traders are. You know, I don't know where there's a mass of sell orders here and I'm going long into them or what. But can you see 850? There are sellers at 850 there. So my guess is if it's 850, we're going to have a pullback. We're right at, there's two reasons. We're right at the top here. You know, two legs up. You're going to take profit here. So my guess is if it hits this area, sellers sell there to push it back down. Buyers jack their trades in and take their profits. Another reason for it to lose momentum, but there are no guarantees. But it does at least show you where other buyers and sellers potentially are. I will say price action with Mac is a brilliant system. But I think what people miss when they see these strategies, they expect the strategy to work brilliantly really quickly. The strategy is the easiest part. One of the toughest part is applying it to the correct context. It's okay, you know, I could show you what a second entry long is in 30 seconds, but if it's in the wrong direction and you've got the context right, it's useless to you. So it does take experience, you know, to learn and to grow and to understand how the price is working and to get the context. You know, the longer you've been doing it, like any job you do, the longer you've been doing it, the better you get at it. You know, if you're an artist and you've been painting, you look back at your pictures to when you were a teenager compared to what you draw in 20 years later. There's no comparison. You know, if you're a carpenter, skilled job, you've been carpentry 3 years or 20 years. 20 years, you're going to learn all the tricks of the trades. You're going to make less mistakes. You're going to waste less wood. So I think PATS is a brilliant system. But people just underestimate, and me including, underestimating how long they take, you know, to start to get them right. So pushed up there, took a bit of liquidity out here, and all of a sudden we're pulling back. Sellers up there, bit of an overshoot. You'd expect price to come back. And here it comes. For me, it looked like an overshoot. Two sellers up here. An overshoot, take traders, long traders taking profits, sellers short in a market. The common denominator is price comes down, and that's exactly what's happening. Now we're down 6.5 points in a matter of a minute. So it's so choppy, this, isn't it? So we get a bit of a correction, and then there are areas where buyers may think, okay, this looks like it's going up. If price comes down to this level, I'll buy, and we'll see if this goes up. Scalp and run idea is it? Yeah. The thing is, you can have a great system. There are some traders who've got lots of confidence and lots of experience that may think this is a really good setup. I'm going to hold it, and they may get 10 or 20 points. And you've got other traders that take a great setup and it may go up 1.5 points, come back a point, and you might panic and get out for a tick. They've taken the same trade, but one's making a stack more money than the other. So a lot of it is down to experience and confidence and self-belief. You know, with experience comes confidence. The better you get at something, the more confident you are at doing it. You know, I remember the first time I went on site after I'd finished college bricklaying. Some guy stuck me on a tiny little gable, and I went, "Is someone going to come with me?" Because I didn't have the confidence to do it. But once you've done it every day for 6 months, that confidence just comes. So this is hard going today. This is, to be honest with you. But overshoot, sellers up here, and what happened? Down, price comes. There's 2 reasons I think it turns this strong. Is one, you've got buyers taking profits. You've got an overshoot and you've got sellers up here. So the combination of buyers getting out of trades, sellers coming in, you get that quick swivel round of movement. So there are buyers down here now, as we marked earlier. But they're around about slightly. No, that's about where they are. Testing kind of this level. You can see them there. Now, there's still a possibility this thing could come down here. So I wouldn't be thinking about going short straight away. Yeah, Thomas Ways just popped this on. 21. Yeah, a few minutes ago. So he's got the same kind of thing. Strong move up with an overshoot, strong pullback. Where is it? Yeah, overshoot. So, you know, we're kind of looking at the same thing and thinking about the same thing. It's another good reason to become part of a community. It's always good to get other opinions, and if most opinions are the same way, it kind of makes sense. So that's quite strong there. There were buyers there. Now, I'm not surprised those buyers got absorbed pretty quick because that's coming down strong. Now, the way this is coming down, there's not much in the way of sellers here. There's a stack of buyers down here, so I think prices flushing down there, clearing out here, here, and here. So, I'll be surprised if you had a pullback, but I think that's going to get straight down to the bottom. Clearing out all this and there as well. So, you know, I mentioned about 15 minutes ago, I'll be surprised that these orders are sat here. They must be patient. And look, it looked like it was reversing all of a sudden. Within the space of 3 minutes, we've just dropped 20 points. Now, you'd naturally expect short in this to take profits here right at the lows, wouldn't you? Which creates a little bit of a pullback. We've still got orders here, and there's some short orders here, so there's going to be traders picking the bottom, trying to. There'll be some shorts here, as we can see, 37.5, 37.5, kind of this area. I expect this to push down and clear this, and pick up those buy orders. You're always best if you're going to go long, do it below all this. Now, I wouldn't be going along there. I haven't got the pockets. There are traders who may jump in here, put a stop down here, and try and push right the way up. Okay, so some sell orders here. I'll be surprised if this doesn't continue down. But if you look on Bookmap, there are lots of buy orders appearing here. Just incidentally, this offer that's on at the moment finishes midnight tonight, so they usually give you a day or two after. So if you pass one today, you're still going to get this $40. I'm up to 10 accounts. I've got 10 accounts anyway, so that's all I'm doing. I'm not spending any more money. So, but if you want one, it'll finish at midnight tonight. It's been a good deal, this actually. 70% off the $40. I've never seen the PA fees as cheap as $40. Now, you obviously have to take into consideration the 70% off, but you're talking, is it about $55 plus 40? So it's less than $100 to do the eval and the PA. Now, when we've had 90% off and $85, we've lapped that up, which is about the same price. So ukft is my code. If you use it or you ever have used it, thank you. It's appreciated. Keeps me in single malt most of the time. So now I wouldn't take a short here, even though channel down. You look here, there are buyers around here. So I don't think this will come. I think this will struggle to get low. We've multiple times. I thought that was game over when it pushed off, but channel break new low. There's a higher low there. Wouldn't take a trade because we may get a pullback and pick up some of these orders. Now that's interesting. Second entry short. Now that's interesting. I'm staying out of this at the moment because there are buyers around about here. 41. Just above this bar here. But there are orders down here around about 32. We've had multiple attempts. So for me, that second entry short is super risky. You can see those orders there around about 41-ish, so possibly a touch higher. Around about here. So if you'd have taken the second entry short, stopped you out. It's around about 41, 40, a little bit, around about 41-ish. Yeah, it's not easy today, to be honest with you. It's very much a range day, I think, for the most. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I mean, we had this push down overnight, and really we've just rattled up and down, so that's actually looking a little bit more clearer, isn't it? So there's the failure there, which is pushed up. Not much you can do here, to be fair. There are big sell orders here. Why'd you pass the second entry short? Ooh, that one there. These orders here. It was a load of orders here. So second entry short, triggered, pushed up. So that's why, really. So today's a different day. When I had yesterday, I had that whole third of my chart devoted to bookmap, and I spent more of my day looking at bookmap instead of looking at the chart. The way bookmap, I think, will help me is if I'm looking to take a trade. So if this comes down, we have a break and a new low, as this is forming, if I think this is a triple test, let's go long here, and I look at Bookmap and see a stack of short orders here, sorry, buyers below price, then I will leave it alone. Now, we got a channel down, channel break, new high, bearish bar. Possible second entry short. Look on Bookmap, I see orders here, so I leave it alone. Triggers it, pushes up, stops it out. So I'm better to focus on the chart as I'm preparing to take a trade. Just find out where passive orders are, because if there's passive orders where my stop is, sensible thing to do is to just leave it alone. So don't focus too much on this. From a Pat's point of view, is where to take a trade, but more if I'm taking a trade here, is there buyers or sellers where my stop is, in which case perhaps I'm being a little bit premature. There may be a spike in a channel here. It's not an easy day today. It's very choppy, so it's easy to get caught out today. I am up a little bit, not a huge amount. Between $60 and $70 on my account, so 665, which is at least it's green. But it's not an easy day today, that's for certain. In fact, it's a tough day today, and I'm up a bit here, so I think I'm going to finish early today. In a green day, I think I'm down. I was down about $295-ish yesterday after fees. So at least I'm green a bit today. So that's not too bad. Excuse me. So on that note, I'm going to finish early today, I think. A bit of green. It's not easy today, and I'm thinking, well, I'm up a little bit. It's probably a good option to finish a bit early. So I'm going to leave you good folks to it. So let me know if you have any issues with Guardian Angel, but hopefully you're sorted. So you're welcome, Stu. So I'll leave you guys to it anyway, Wednesday tomorrow. So best of luck. Just go careful when it's like this. It's a bit scary, isn't it? Chop, 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 chop. I think this is when it takes experience, isn't it? Trade this, and I think my experience isn't quite there yet, but I think patience is the order of the day as well. So I'll leave you folks to it. Best of luck. Have a good day, and I'll be back tomorrow. Take care. Stay safe. Bye for now.